Well, thank you everybody for joining yet another session of Intentwise webinars. We try to bring practitioners and learn from them, learn from their experiences, and we're excited about today's topic, which is launching of new products on Amazon, which almost every one of us has to go through at one point or another. Just a quick comment on Intentwise, if you don't already know about us. I am Srinath Reddy, one of the founders here at Intentwise. There's a couple of my team members behind the scenes, just helping with logistics, Ryan and Julian. So that's three of us from Intentwise. And quickly, what Intentwise does is we, at the core, bring together advertising and retail and competitive data and form what is called a e-commerce-centric data model, on top of which our products are built. And we have three products. We have an ad optimization platform for Amazon, Walmart, and a bunch of retail media channels. We also have a data automation and reporting platform called Intentwise Analytics Cloud for all things Amazon and e-com. And then we have a newer product in beta that is centered around an Amazon Marketing Cloud called Intentwise Explore. So those are the three products we offer. But today's topic is about product launches. So I'm super excited to have Josh to be presenting this for us. He will, tell us more about his background, but he is a founder of a full-service agency and has dealt with and grappled with and helped brands launch products on Amazon. So we'll hear more from him. In terms of the webinar logistics itself, we are recording this session. We'll share the recording out. And by the way, along the way, if you have questions, please drop them into the Q&A widget on your Zoom client. We'll take them all at the end. In case, with the exception of if there's a very pertinent question here that should be answered midway, we'll do that too. But that's it. Again, thank you, Josh, for joining. Over to you if you want to introduce yourself and then kick this off.
Yeah, thanks for that intro, Srinath. And yeah, if you have questions, guys, feel free to throw them in as we go, because I know some of them might be related to what we're doing. And I'll keep an eye on them. I'll keep the window open and we'll dive into them as we go. And then, of course, too, we can always save some general ones for the end. I think that's a great idea. I'm Josh. I'm one of the co-founders here at eSpark. I started selling on Amazon 7 years ago. We were launching products in the lawn and garden category. Well, it turns out I was really good at the Amazon component, but I just did not love product sourcing, development, and I wasn't very creative with it. So I was like, you know what, let's just take our Amazon expertise and be what we should always be or should have been, which is an agency, and apply all of our expertise to that. And so since then, we've been doing, I've been in this Amazon space for 7 years. I've seen thousands of product launches and helped clients with loads of product launches on Amazon. So my intent with this webinar is to essentially come here and show you everything that I've learned from those years of experience and aid you all in essentially having your own best product launches. So I hope this webinar is a great resource for you. If you have any questions, ask them as I go. If you have any questions after, feel free to always ping me, Josh, on LinkedIn or josh@goespark.com. But with that said, Srinath, I'll go ahead and kick it off. So the ultimate guide to successful product launches. The way that we think about launching at eSpark is really a three-phase approach. Is a pre-launch, launch, and post-launch. And maybe post-launch doesn't count, but there's some key things that you need to be doing once your product's live and you move through that launch phase to continue the momentum that you kick off. So before I jump into the pre-launch, I wanted to talk about one of the key formulas that's so important on Amazon that I think will help us focus our efforts, which is traffic times conversion times average order value equals revenue. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to do on Amazon is, most of the time increase revenue. We obviously have a profit motive as well, and we can get into that a little bit later. But when we think about revenue, we want to distill into key components. Are people coming to my listing? Are that when they come, are they buying? Am I sending the right people? Am I convincing them that my product's the product to buy? And then are we maximizing the order value that they're placing at the time that they buy? So if we can solve the best that we can for each component of that equation, then we're going to be highly successful on Amazon. So I'll be referencing back to that formula multiple times throughout this presentation. So keep that in mind as we go. So what do we do in our pre-launch phase? Well, number one, we're going to be getting the listing the best it can be. And now I'm sure a lot of you guys have gone through optimization practices and probably watched some webinars on optimization. And one thing I want to share is that optimization is a continually ongoing process. Like, we're never going to stop and say, like, this listing's optimized, let's move on to the next one. there's what we would call a marginal, the marginal benefit of more optimizations does decline, but you can still pull a lot of value out of little things like A/B testing and things like that. So what do I mean when I say getting the listing the best it can be? The first thing I think, and this is the most important thing, is your product market fit and your product value props. You have to know what you're selling and who you're selling it to. And when you know that, building out your product story is way easier. So let's say you have a product like a garlic press, right? A garlic press at this point, unless your garlic press is Bluetooth, is a Me Too product, right? And so that one's going to be a difficult product to have unique value props, frame them as a benefit, and then build a listing around that. So when I say unique value props, I'm talking about products like, to Srinath's earlier point, where it's a knife, but it's a knife that actually has something drastically different that makes it so appealing to this particular target market. And one I think brand that does this really well, and product that does this really well, and this is not even an Amazon product, but they just do it so well when I highlight it, is Jeep. So essentially you think about the Jeep Wrangler, right? Like, what do they do in every single Jeep Wrangler commercial? It's going to be like some fit dudes or some fit girls. They're going to be outdoors. They're going to be hiking, camping, climbing mountains, etc. Right? So the Jeep Wrangler is not so much a product, it's more almost a lifestyle brand. And when you watch their commercials, they're saying like, look, this is who we are for. We're for outdoorsy people that like to be in shape, that like to run around in the outdoors, to get muddy, to get dirty, to go surfing, to go hiking. Like, they tell you exactly who they are a great fit for. They show their target market right there. At no point during a Jeep Wrangler listing do you literally see a list of bullets come up on the screen and it say V6 engine, aluminum chassis. And so many people do that on their listings. It drives me insane. Like, you'll see bullet points and it'll be like, let's go back to our garlic press. It'll be like aluminum handle. That's a feature, not a benefit. So as we think about your target's unique value prop and the way it speaks to its audience, we want to bake that into our listing copy. So many people say you need to write benefit-driven copy. And Jeep right here, I think, does such a great job writing benefit-driven copy. It does not have to be copy necessarily about the features. You can highlight those in your infographics, but really what you want to be doing is writing benefit-driven stuff like the summer you secured a campsite that didn't require reservations. These are the types of things that are saying like, okay, if I buy this Jeep, my benefit is that I can take it out in the woods, I can hook up my hammock to my Jeep, and I can go out and hang in my hammock. If that's the person you are, the Jeep Wrangler is the product for you. So this, I think, above all else, should drive what you put into your listing copy and your infographics and things like that. I want to show you what I think is a great example of a benefit-driven bullet point. So here you can see the Anchor charger. Anchor is one of the biggest brands on Amazon. They actually started as a digitally native brand and have since gone public. So you know they're doing something right. Now, if you look at this first benefit-driven bullet point, it's the only charger I need. I mean, that right there tells me so much about why I want to buy this product and how it benefits me, Josh, the consumer. It's the only charger I need. Okay, great, I buy it. I don't have to buy any more chargers. That is awesome. And then it tells you exactly why it's the only charger I'll ever need, because it can power my phone, tablet, and USB-C from a single charger. I mean, this to me is a quintessentially perfect bullet point. I don't need my other chargers. Why do I not need my other chargers? Because it charges these three things for you. So if you're looking for a multi-charger that charges phone, tablet, USB-C, boom, this is it, right? And so that is a great, great bullet point. Let's move a little bit quicker through some of the basics, and then let's start really deep diving. So as you guys know, getting the listing the best it can be, and then I'll jump back into bundling, and let me move this chat a little bit, and then getting product to Amazon. So we talked about benefit-driven being super important. What we do, you want to max out your infographics and all of your images. You want to have video. Video is so key. With the infographics, what we like to do is I like to keep them, I have a sort of a set, and I'll list it off here for you for our infographics. But what we like to do is we like to do a comparison infographic. And what we do is we take our product, so in this case, it would be a USB-C charger, and we'd put either a competitor's direct product next to it. We wouldn't say their name, but we'd say, we'd make their image a little bit less blurry and be like, ours charges 3, theirs charges 2, right? Boom, easy. Or you do a mashup. You do ours charges 3, and then you say the standard charger in our category only charges 1. Boom, mashup. You take your best feature and put it up against what they're the worst at. That's a really good infographic to do. lifestyle. I love showing product in use. And this jumps back to the Jeep point, right? Like Jeep, their whole pitch is lifestyle, right? It's a dude sitting on a hammock in a Jeep swinging in the breeze. Show people what they get. And Anchor's done this really well here with their with this particular image. Okay, great. I'm charging my MacBook on the go while I'm drinking coffee. This is perfect. Once again, the only charger I'll ever need. So comparisons, lifestyles, benefit-driven value props. This is what I would call this. Charge 3 devices at once. Once again, coming back to our number one benefit, you can charge 3 devices at once. Notice it doesn't say 650 mAh charging port, right? That's a feature. It's useless information. Don't waste words on it. And then also too, sometimes that we will build in some other, at this point, I think that, you've got your lifestyle, you've got your comparisons, you've got your benefit driven value props. If yours is a multi-value prop product, I would do a couple more of those. And then also to a note on the lifestyles, bring your target audience into your lifestyle as you can. So in Jeep, if this is like fit outdoor people, have fit outdoor people utilizing your product if that's what you want. And that's how you build infographics itself. Make sure your infographics tell the same story as your bullet points. So benefits in the infographics, benefits in the bullet points, same benefits. Don't try to add 20 benefits because you cause customer confusion. Your product should really only have maybe 3 ways that it is drastically better than the competition, right? Like, let's be honest, none of us invented the iPhone, right? Where it's not even, it's blue ocean, right? I'm sure most of our products are improvements, right? So we want to really hammer that home. So keep these the same, don't clutter it and confuse people. When it comes to the A+ content, this is something that I think that a lot of people get wrong, and they use this to go text deep. And Anchor has actually done this well, where they don't go text deep. They keep their specs in here. I think that's good for Google and for Amazon for SEO. So for, if people are like, I need a 65 watt max USB, the info is there, but that is at the bottom of their A+ content, right? This is all the technicalities. What can I use it with? How do I charge, etc. But really, once again, look at this, charge 3 devices at once, telling that same benefit to the customer. They're elaborating on it a little bit, still doing lifestyle photos. Once again, another benefit, maximize your productivity. Like, that has nothing to do with the charger. There's a million things that could maximize your productivity. This is one of them. And that's what's so great about this, or what's so great about this content. Save space, travel light, another benefit, pioneering, all that good stuff. Love it. So this is, I think, how you do A+ really, really, really well. Benefit driven. You're still going to be citing the same benefits. You want to utilize the additional space to include some SEO driven text, but you don't want to be writing paragraphs in here, at least not paragraphs within that are intended to convert, because paragraphs don't convert. They're just research for people that I need to know if this is a 12 watt max. So let's say you've got all that designed. Our listing is looking great. It's an 8 out of 10. Nothing's ever a 10 out of 10 to start, because you don't know until you actually get in front of the market and start testing. And so building your bundles. This is something that when we talk about the traffic times conversion times AOV, building bundles is key to driving additional order value for clients. So here's a client that we're working with right now, actually, to redo some of their bundles. I pulled it up a little bit. Because bundles, I think they can increase AOV, but you don't want to cause customer confusion with them. So in a product like a CPG product, like a food product, once again, just want to quickly highlight, look at how we're showing lifestyle here and the type of people that are buying this product and the benefit they get from it, right? Big enough to fuel any appetite. So the branding here is so benefit driven and on point. Now, bundling. So what you want to do with bundles is you don't want to confuse, you want to keep people in stock, but you do want to use it to increase AOV. So a couple of things. So we're redoing some of these bundles here, but what's cool about them is you can do things like get 2 for the price of 1, get 3 for the price of 2 with your bundles. You can do different pack sizes, you can do different flavor sizes, and then you can add in virtual bundles, which would show down here if I didn't have the Keepa login, or if I didn't have the Keepa. You get the virtual bundles. You can virtually bundle product, you can physically bundle product, but make sure that you have a very clearly defined set of complementary bundles for your product to increase that AOV. You can coupon to incentivize, like we're doing here, coupon to incentivize people to up their AOV. You can virtual bundle to get people to just buy multiple products with no incentive other than, hey, I want to try the jalapeno and I want to try the originals. and you can size and scale bundles. So I don't want a pack of 5. I know I love these products already. I bought them before. Give me an option for a pack of 20. Here's another one that another instance of a product with some great bundle options. So Grandpa Gus, these are little peppermint mouse pouches, right? And they repel mice. They're doing 4, 10, 16, 30. These are all physical bundles, right? Like I go and buy a 16 pack, Amazon ships me a 16 pack. They don't have any virtuals running. Physical bundles sell better than virtuals, but virtuals are a good alternative option if you're bundling after the fact. But they have multiple options to scale up that customer revenue size. And what's cool about this, I'm getting a bit more advanced now, is with multiple bundles, you can, or excuse me, multiple variations on your listing. Let's say they are size bundles. You can protect your listings with more defensive ads. So let's say that you're Grandpa Gus and all you sell is mice pouches. You know, people are bidding on your listing up here. They're bidding over here. But oh, look, Grandpa Gus is defending by bidding on themselves here. They're bidding on themselves here. And they're bidding on themselves here all over the place. So essentially what they're doing is they're running defensive strategies to keep competitors off their listings. And they can do that utilizing these variations. So you can be running a 10 pack and then, create a 10, 16, or 30. And then on your 10 pouch listing, run ads for your 16 pouch listing. You can increase your AOV that way, and you can run defensive strategies that way. So that's another reason why I think bundles are so important. I'll shut up a minute on bundles, see if there's any questions so far. I don't see any, but feel free to, guys, throw them in there as we go. Happy to deep dive. Also gives me an excuse to drink some water. All right, so we know, one, we've got our listing where it needs to be. We're at 8 out of 10. We've got we've decided on our bundles. If we miss the opportunity to physical product bundle, we've at least got the virtual bundles created. So we've got a couple different options that'll increase our AOV and give us some listings that we can utilize for defensive ads. Now we want to get our product to Amazon. And this is pretty much, a relatively straightforward portion of the process. What we always say is, look, you want to create your forecasts based on your, I would say 10% of maybe your top competitors' performance. So in this case, like with Grandpa Gus, we're launching against these guys. And, my Helium 10 widget, which I don't have it plugged in right now because it'd slow my computer too much. But let's say Helium 10 is telling me these guys sell 1,000 a month. Let's start something generous at like 100 a month for my product. And then I want to bake in 30 units to Vine. Now I get a lot of pushback on Vine. I table that thought if you have any pushbacks on Vine, and I'll talk about them in the launch phase. But what I'm saying is essentially bake in 45 to 60 days of cover, maybe 10% of your top competition's quantity. So if they're doing 1,000 a month, 10% of that is 100 a month. Let's say 60 days of cover. So maybe we do 200 plus our 30 units for Vine, 230 units, boom. We'll create the listing. I won't go into that because you guys have all launched products before and you'll ship the product. I won't go to that because you've all done that before. But I would create the listing and get your A+ uploaded ASAP, because A+, the first one, usually takes like a week or two to review. So you want that to be on your PDP before your product arrives. So create your listing today on August 24th, create your shipment today on August 24th, apply your A+ today on August 24th, and your A+ should be ready to go once the product lands at Amazon in a couple of weeks. So now we've moved through our pre-launch phase. We've got an 8 out of 10 listing, products on the way out the door, it's coming in, A+ was approved successfully, it's all bundled up, it's looking good. What's next? Now we're going to talk honeymoon phase. So honeymoon phase is something that I hear people talk about a lot. And the most frequent question I get with the honeymoon phase is, hey, how long does the honeymoon phase last? And I'll be frank, I don't know. And I don't know that anybody knows, because I don't know how you would measure it, to be honest. And what I mean by the honeymoon phase is this is essentially a period where when you launch your product, you have no reviews, no customer, you essentially have no reviews, no sales. So if Amazon was ranking your product, quote unquote, fairly, you would be on page 1,000, right? But what Amazon does is they actually give you better placements based on what they think your product is, from what the algorithm has read from your product, from your PDP. They give you better than average placements for a period so you can get sales, traffic, and that flywheel can get kicked off. We call this the honeymoon phase. So this is your chance to create sales velocity, capture reviews, and train the algorithm on what your product is and when to show your product. Those are the big, big, big three. So when we think about that, traffic times conversion times AOV equals revenue. Conversion, we improve that drastically by creating a great listing. AOV, we worked on that with our bundles. Now we're thinking about traffic in this honeymoon phase and bringing people to look at our listing. So, you know how I mentioned earlier, you got to get reviews. So the key component of getting great reviews is, I think, Vine. And we actually did some studies on Vine. We've run thousands of products through Vine. What we found, and I'll give you some hard numbers. I might be falling behind on my.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
we were on the Amazon PDP page. So
I know, I'm sorry. I get so excited. I could talk about this stuff forever. So like I said, we create our forecast, create listings, ship your product, launch, honeymoon phase, getting your reviews. Ooh, that's a good one. Look at that. Getting reviews. So Vine, yeah, kicking off with Vine here. Let me see. Okay. So Vine, let me give you some stats on this. 70% of Vines get reviewed. So if you put in 30 products through Vine, on average, 21 of those products will be claimed and reviewed. Sometimes you might get a little higher on the claim rate, like 80%, and then 70% get reviews. So that's 21 reviews there. Amazon calls 15 plus reviews retail ready. So Amazon says, look, you're not even ready until you have 15 plus reviews. So Vine's a great way to get over that threshold. On average, almost, I think I want to say like 9 out of 10 products that we launch on Vine end up with 4 stars or better. So you're looking at, if you guys are landing in the stats or the general stats, you're going to get 21 reviews. You're going to be 4 stars or better. And Vine reviewers consistently leave long, keyword-rich, pictured reviews with pictures. So their reviews are really high quality. Like they're getting pictures for the customers. They're keyword-rich. I'm convinced that Amazon ranks based on review keywords. So I think that's why I think Vine is just incredibly valuable. Now you say, okay, you know what, Josh, I'm going to get reviews organically, forget Vine. The organic review rate on Amazon is roughly 1.5%. So if you launch and do nothing to generate reviews, you would need to sell 1,400 products to get 21 reviews. That's 1,400 products just to get 21 reviews at a 1.5% review rate. Double check me on the math. It's incredible. Like that's just what the numbers are. So to me, like based on the math and the positivity that comes from Vine, I think it's just a no-brainer to do. Yeah, best. Okay, so Matt, thanks for asking this question. This is a great question of what I was going to reference. So Matt says, what is considered a best-in-class minimum review quantity for an ASIN? So I think there's 2 things to look at. One is your review rate, one is your review quantity. Let's do review rate first. That's an easy one. If you come in, you launch, you run Vine, you get some sales traffic, and I'll talk about more about how to get sales traffic, and you wind up with a 3.8, and you're at like, let's say 50 reviews with a 3.8, I would abandon product. I would revamp my product, change whatever people are complaining about, and relaunch. Because getting the drop off that we see in revenue below a 4 is so big that it's just like you're fighting an uphill battle. You're going to be fighting with that listing your whole time it's live to get the revenue points that you want on it. So I would say below 4, relaunch. There's one exception to that. One exception is if you're in a category where reviews are consistently low anyways. So if like all of your competitors are 3.5 and you get a 3.8, stay, keep it, that's good. But in general, if you're less than a 4, drop it. Best in class minimum review quantity. So I think it was DataBox dropped some numbers on reviews a while ago. And essentially, this is where I talk about the marginal benefit decreasing. So you want to get, like once you get over 100, the benefit of each additional review gets less and less and less and less and less and less and less. So I would say, look, you want to get over 15 as fast as possible. Vine should get you there at statistically 21. You want to get push over 50 as fast as possible because it feels about the 50 mark. It feels like, this is anecdotal, but it feels like ads start performing a lot better. Conversion rates go up. So we feel that kind of juice hitting there. Once you go over 100, we don't feel it too much. So I would say, look, in your ideal world, Matt, you want 100 plus reviews, 4 stars or better. 4.5 plus is obviously preferred. Matt, another question. Outside of Vine, how can a brand drive reviews in an Amazon compliant way? Great. This is my exact next point. What do I have here? Brand referral bonus. So yeah, so brand referral bonus, and I'm going to combine this with email campaigns. So here's a really cool thing that we do for all product launches. Not a lot of people know about this. It's within terms of service. Essentially what we do is, let's say we're launching a brand. Let's go back to these master columns, right? So let's say Grandpa Gus calls me up and says, hey, Josh, I want to launch these. I'm already selling these on Facebook. I've got a pretty big audience on Facebook. I've never been on Facebook. Want to go on Amazon. When we launch, we set up an email campaign to their mailing list ahead of time. And we're going to drive some external traffic to Amazon. As a brand owner or as a head of e-commerce, you might say, why would I want to drive traffic to Amazon? It's going to be more, it's not going to be as good margins as my website. Totally agree, but we're investing in the long term of this listing. Let's say over the 5-year period life cycle of a listing, you're going to sell 10 million. I'm asking you to invest 100 customers and maybe $2,000 into the front of that to get it going. So what we do is we create an email campaign. We take, let's say their list is 10,000 people. We bring that down to about 200 people. And we say, okay, of these 200 people, this is an engaged portion of the list. They bought from you before. So we say, hey guys, send this list, let them know that you're selling this product on Amazon now. Give them like 20, 25, 30% off. Don't mention a review. Just say, hey, we launched on Amazon. We're a small family-owned brand. Come buy our product here. You'd be doing us a great help. And then after they buy the product, you send out a couple of emails requesting reviews. So once again, you're not incentivizing it. You gave them the discount. They did not have to review it. There's no incentivizing going on. And what you're essentially doing is now you've got somebody that, one, has bought your product before. They just bought it again. They must like your product or else they're an idiot buying your product multiple times, right? And they don't like it. So they like it. And then you go ask them for reviews. We get crazy high review rates with this strategy. Like we'll get like 40, 50% review rates. Remember earlier I said organic rate is like 1.5. So you essentially get like 100 to 200 people to come flood your Amazon listing with great positive reviews, non-incentivized. Again, they bought it already. They got the coupon, I'm not reviewing. Great, no problem. We're not incentivizing you to do it. And we get great reviews from that. So that's an Amazon compliant way to generate additional reviews on Amazon. Some people, I think, do this as a service, to your point, because I think Matt specifically asked if there were services. I don't know if there is. I've never researched it because we just do it in-house, but it's something that you guys can do simply, right? Pull up your MailChimp, subset your list, hit them with an email campaign with a discount. Now, brand referral bonus. Here's an even better part, right? So of those 200 people that you send to your listing, set up your brand referral bonus ahead of time. Use that link when you send the email campaign out, and you get 10% of your sale back. So essentially, Amazon's paying you to drive a subset of your list to Amazon. You're getting a ton of reviews. You're also driving some initial sales velocity, and you're getting paid 10% on your sale to do it. So it funds some of that effort. So it's like this great virtuous cycle for launching that just works so well. And if you combine the email campaigns, the brand referral bonus, and the Vine, you're going to be at 50 reviews before you know it easily. You're going to have gotten a brand referral bonus for it. So you got a little bit of money back and you're on your way to the races. So LM asked, would you rather have 0 reviews on a product launch item or 1 review with 3.5 stars? Do you think customers always notice when there are 0 reviews on new products? So I'll quick answer. I would rather have 0 reviews rather than 1 review at 3.5 stars. And the reason why is in this book, Success, he talks about a lot of success is driven by network effects. And he utilizes a study done on Amazon where people were more likely to give a positive review to a product if it had positive reviews already on the listing. And they were more likely to negatively review a product if there was negative reviews on the listing. In other words, humans follow the crowd. So if I go to a listing and I loved it, right? I'm like, oh, this product, these pouches were amazing. And I see they're 3 stars, as opposed to giving them the 5 stars I probably would have if I hadn't seen those reviews. I adjust it. I'm like, oh, maybe those other people are right. It's maybe not as good as I thought. And I give it 4 stars. Same goes the other way. If I think it's a 3 and I show up and it's a 5, I'm like, oh, maybe there are things better than I thought. I'll give it a 4. So those early reviews, you want them to be good. And that's why I love the Vine so much, because Vine tends to consistently be positive. And that's why I love the email campaigns, because those are people that have bought from you already. And now they're buying from you again. They should be positive as well. So if you get those guys or those people in first review first, when other new to brand customers come to your listing, they're seeing 4s and 5s. And so even if they had a 3 experience, they're more likely to rate it higher. So I would rather have 0 on a product launch than 1 at 3.5, because that's already going to start to pull people down. Now, if your first review is at 3.5, like, don't throw it out, don't stop there. But just to answer your question, that's, I think, your ideal. And that's why we try to drive all those positive reviews at the start. Yeah, great question. That's a fun one. Let me talk about two other ones, family and friends, gray hat. So family and friends is probably truly, I mean, technically it's black hat, like Amazon says, don't send it to family and friends, but I'm going to give you guys a frank assessment of what has happened when I've done it. So when I do family and friends, what usually happens is if it's somebody that's really close, like my mom, I'm like, hey mom, I mean, I even did this, right? 7 years ago, I was like, hey mom, I launched this product, come give me some love, right? So mom goes, she leaves a review and Amazon just doesn't display it. And she gets a little note back that says, something suspicious review activity, your review's been blocked. That's the worst thing that I've ever seen from family and friends. Now, note, this is against terms of service. I'm not recommending doing it, but I just want to let you know, people always ask me, can I get my family and friends to do it? And it's like, yeah, you can. What my experience has been is that Amazon simply just blocks the review and that's it. I've never seen them suspend a listing for it, but just to let you know, it's against terms of service. That's the behavior that I've seen Amazon do when people do it. So I consider it a low risk and probably low reward because you've got these other method of getting reviews. Now, review groups, and this is what review groups I want to talk about, and incentivized reviews. So you see these all the time on Amazon. I can't tell you how many people email me and say, hey, Josh, especially clients, right? They'll be like, hey, I bought this product. I opened it up. It's got this little pamphlet and it's like, we'll give you $100 if you leave us a review on Amazon and email the proof here. Like that is 1000% against Amazon's terms of service. And they're like, oh, can we do that? And I'm like, no, please, Lord, no. So what happens is these brands essentially do these strategies to get these products off. They generate a ton of revenue and a ton of reviews, but they all get caught in the end. Amazon last year dropped some of the largest electronics brands I've ever seen on Amazon, like Will and I forget the rest of their names, but Will was a big one. Those guys had hundreds of listings. They were doing millions in revenue and Amazon killed them because they did that. But they let them go on for like 3 years doing it. So it's like, I always tell people like, yeah, you'll get away with it for probably a long time and you probably get some revenue, but Amazon will kill your brand. So if you're a US-based person trying to build a long-term brand, I would not do those packets. Same goes for the review groups. Review groups, they work, but your brand is gonna get caught eventually and they're gonna get pulled. And then it's like you've invested 3 years into this and now it's gone. So we talked a bit about, I know I've been talking fast, but I just want to give you guys as much as I can in the time we have. We talked through our launch, right? We're driving traffic and getting reviews, or we're driving traffic and conversions. Conversions, we're getting reviews, which is going to juice our conversion rate through the roof. We're getting those reviews by utilizing Vine, our email campaigns, and paying for it with a brand referral bonus. On the traffic side, let's talk about how we get some traffic. Now we're going to talk post-launch. We're going to talk, I'm going to go advertising, A/B testing, and then general rules. So advertising. This is huge. Amazon's 100% pay to play now. When I launched 7 years ago, you put your product on there. I was on page 2 for expandable garden hoses. Within 3 weeks, I was on page 1. I didn't spend a penny on ads. That is not happening nowadays. You have to drive traffic. So when we think we've done a lot to get our conversions where they need to be, 8 out of 10 listings, we've gotten our Vine reviews, we've gotten our email campaign reviews. We're sitting at like 50 plus and we're at like 4.4 stars. Great, everything's going well. We need to get more traffic on that listing. So a lot of people say, hey, do you spend on ads when you first launch? Yes, I do. Even when we're at 0 views, what I do when I'm at 0 views is I run low cost automated targeting campaigns. That tells me 2 things. One, it gets me a little bit of initial traffic. It's not going to convert well because I'm at 0 reviews. It's not going to be, ROAS, great ROAS traffic. That's fine. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for traffic. And I'm looking for it to tell me what Amazon thinks my listing is. So automated targeting campaigns are essentially the Amazon algorithm exposing itself and showing you what they think your product is. So let's say I launched those pouches and Amazon, I run my targeting campaigns, my auto targeting campaigns, and Amazon keeps showing me for, weed killer, right? It's like, no, I'm not weed killer. So then I'm going through and I'm reading my listing again. I'm seeing who's coming to my listing through my traffic and through what words, and I'm revamping my listing if I need to, right? Because I clearly told Amazon something wrong in the back end because they think it's weed killer. Let's say I get it right. Okay, that's great. Now we're just sending some initial low cost traffic. I'm not bidding a lot. I'm not doing terms of search, 1000% placements yet. I'm at 0 reviews, remember? We just launched our Vine, product just landed. We're just getting some light, cheap traffic on the page to see what we can convert. Once we get over those 15 reviews, so as your Vine reviews start pouring in, give it like a week or so, you'll just start getting like 2 or 3 a day. Boom, 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 boom. Your email campaign should be running. You'll start getting those in about 2 weeks in. Boom, 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 boom. Once you get over 15 reviews, then I launch all of my core keywords. So let's say I'm doing pouches here. I'm going to be targeting mouse repellent pouches, all natural mouse repellent pouches, peppermint, mice, deterrent. All my core keywords that I want to rank for, I've got them in Helium 10, Jungle Scout, whatever tracker you want. And I'm running all my core campaigns to bring people that are searching for those to my listing. Once again, you're still not going to have a good ROAS or ACOS. Conversions are still going to be low. You're only 15 plus reviews. You don't have a ton of social proof on your page yet, but now is the time where you need to start driving that traffic and getting people to convert for it. Because you're also telling the Amazon algorithm what your product is. Amazon rewards nothing more so than search, find, and buy. So if customers search mouse repellent, they find your product and they buy it, that is the strongest signal to the Amazon algorithm that, hey, when people search mouse repellent, show, Grandpa Gus, who I'm referencing here, because people are buying it. Now, once you start to go over that 50 plus review hump, this is when I start going after my competitors. So I already started with some low hanging, just some low, cheap auto targeting, get some traffic in there. I started my core campaigns once my reviews came in, my social proof came in. I'm really going after my keywords. I'm really going after my target audience. Now with 50 plus reviews, I'm going after competitors. So now we have a good, strong base of social proof. Now I'm just trying to steal market share from my competitors. I'm doing placements on their listings. I'm doing placements on their keywords. I'm targeting groups where we are lower priced and higher reviewed. That's great. I'm targeting placements all over their listings and their keywords as well. So depending on how good your product stacks up against your competitors, you can push hard on that or not. When you think about ad campaigns, let's say you're managing this and your boss is like, hey, we got to have a 5 ROAS. You need to be educating your boss or whoever your stakeholder is that, hey, look, on branded campaigns, we're going to have 8 plus ROAS. When we go after competitors, we're going to have 5 plus ROAS. That's market share. Market share is even more valuable. So take that with a grain of salt. You want to make sure that they understand the nuances between the campaign types. Have you tried running let me just answer this question out loud. Have you tried running exact campaigns on the first part of the launch or just auto? You definitely can. And I have no problem with running exact campaigns at that 0 review stage. I just would have the auto going as well, because with the exact campaigns, yeah, that's great. We're bringing it, let's keep them cheap and just bring in some good cheap traffic on our core keywords. That's fine. Once again, it's not going to convert great, but at least we're getting it in there, and then it'll convert better over time as we get more views. But you want that auto campaign going because I think it tells you a lot about what Amazon thinks about your product. So just run them simultaneously so you can at least get that feedback from Amazon. It's a good question. So now we've got our product. We've kind of scaled into our advertising strategy, A/B testing. This is one thing that I'm just shocked people aren't talking about more often. Run A/B tests all the time. 1, it's free. 2, it's an easy way to figure out how your product does better with a true A/B test. A/B testing is like one of the few things, at least through Amazon's program, you can actually test how how changes affect your product detail page and the performance of it with a true A/B test. Before you had to I remember we would go in, we would change it and be like, all right, leave it for a week, see what happens. That's not a true A/B test. Amazon's actually going to show them at the same time to a similar target audience. You get a true A/B test. Now you can A/B test your title, your main image, your bullet points, your A+ content. And there's a 5th thing. Oh, product description, but that one you don't really care about. Run your A/B tests. I like to get the product out of the gate, get it 50 plus reviews, get kind of a stability going so we at least know how it's performing. So I have something to measure well against, but then start A/B testing. I would A/B test your main image first. This is an easy one to pick up additional conversion gains. A/B test your title second. That's another one easy to pick up conversion gains. And remember what I said about search, find, buy, right? A/B testing is going to increase the conversion rate of that traffic times conversion times AOV factor. And A/B testing is also going to train the Amazon algorithm, or as you improve your conversions, you train the Amazon algorithm to reward you with high organic rank. So because people searched, they found, and they bought, right? So if you could increase your conversions by 2 or 3%, that's huge for your organic ranking, and it's going to improve your product. If you do your A/B test, if you follow everything I've talked about, you are going to absolutely crush it over time on Amazon. I know we're getting close on the time, so I know I'm trying to go quick. General rules. 1, keep your A/B test going continually. That's pretty straightforward. Or no, we're still A/B testing. Utilize, manage my experiments. That's what A/B testing is called in Amazon. Track your BSR and core keywords. I mentioned that. Put them in Helium 10 or whatever software you use, and utilize that. Advertising phase I talked about. 0 reviews, low cost, auto campaigns. To Alan's point, throw in your exact keywords if you want. Just don't juice your bids through the roof because you're probably going to get crushed on your ROAS. 15 plus reviews. Now start scaling those bids up. 25, 50 plus reviews. Let's go get our competitors and steal some market share. So two general rules I wanted to share. And this is one I've already kind of talked about. If you come in under 4 stars and your competitors are all 4 stars and over, scrap your product, relaunch it. Don't try to bring a 3.7 or a 3.6 over to 4.2, especially if you're over 50 plus reviews. The math is just not in your favor. And frankly, there's probably something wrong with your product that could be improved. Do a relaunch, do a version 2. Unless, of course, the exception, remember, if everybody else is under 4 stars, then it's just a tough category. And if you're 3.8 and everybody else is 3.5, keep it and run with it. Market pricing. This is something I see people ignore all the time on Amazon, but you also don't want to be like 2x market price without a strong justifiable reason. You can't just charge 2x because it cost you 2x to make the product. You need to charge 2x because it adds 2x the value, or ideally even 3x the value of what the other product does. So if you think once again about a garlic press, let's say it's $8.99, you come in and you want to sell a Bluetooth garlic press, sure, charge $29.99. There's probably a market there for it. But that Bluetooth garlic press better like press garlic by itself without even you picking it up, right? That people are going to buy for $29.99. So just think about that when you're going into the market. How often do you A/B test? Do you run multiple A/B tests at the same time? I don't run multiple A/B tests at the same time because I'm already pulling a lot of levers on the listing. I don't want to muddy the water too much because while you're A/B testing, you're probably making tweaks to ads too. So it's like that does kind of prevent a true A/B test. Then again, you don't want to stop doing your ads either. So I just keep one A/B test at a time, and I run A/B tests concurrent. So as soon as one's done and I've got an answer from Amazon, boom, I try another one. I was talking to my buddy over at July, Aaron Cordovez. Guy's one of the top kitchen sellers. He says that they've changed their main image. He said 7 times, I want to say, in the first, he said they changed their main image 7 times in a year. And this was after they are already doing millions on that listing. So, you know, that far in, he's still making tweaks to stay ahead of the game. So run them concurrently for sure. That essentially wraps the launch strategy. I think Srinath will be sharing this doc. You've got the recording, go back and listen. I know I talk really fast, but I had limited time. I don't want to give you guys max value. Any questions remaining that I might have missed?
Yeah, but thanks, Josh. And the audience, please feel free to just enter questions in the Q&A. I had a couple of quick questions here, Josh. One is this, obviously we are bombarded by messaging related to ChatGPT, and certainly content creation, content generation is an area where, in general, the tech itself lends itself to kind of some interesting use cases. Have you tried that? What have you seen? What should people expect in terms of what will be accessible to us, especially around content creation and generation?
Oh, yeah. So ChatGPT is awesome. Thanks, Lauren. That's awesome to hear. Lauren said, great webinar. I'll share with the recording with my team. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, so ChatGPT AI, this is awesome. I'll be frank, dude, go use it. So we use GPT all the time. It's really good at building a foundation, but you still need a human eye. So what I would do, let's say I'm Grandpa Gus, what I do is I build a prompt framework, or we have a prompt framework, and we say, okay, here's a listing, here's a competitor listing, here's the core keywords, here's the benefits, here's how we want to frame the benefits. And we feed all of that into GPT. And then we tell it, obviously, hey, spit this back out into an Amazon listing of 5 bullet points with X amount of characters and benefits at the front, etc. So we get all that criteria, and it'll spit us back something that's about 7 out of 10. It's really good at the initial framing. And then we have a US-based English-speaking native go through and tweak it for nuance, tweak it, because it still makes some mistakes. So I think it's great for building a foundation that you tweak. I would not run it and push it because everybody knows that you can kind of read AI speak. All my LinkedIn comments, I'm like, it's an AI. Like it has a way of talking, but use it for the foundation, tweak it for human voice, and it'll save you so much time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
There were a few questions from earlier. Let me just relay these to you.
Yeah.
How long does the honeymoon phase last?
I don't blame him, man. I wish I knew. Yeah, that's just that's a tough one. I can't tell because it's in y'all. There's smart people out there. If you guys know a way to test it, tell me, because I guess the only way to really test would be to launch a product, do nothing, see where you rank, and then see when that rank goes and falls off. And then you'll know that's kind of when the honeymoon phase. But you have to waste the effort of like actually launching a product, setting it all up, doing all that good stuff, getting it to market, actually selling a real physical product. But that's how I would solve that problem.
Can you just the Vine program costs, right? Can you just quickly summarize again? I know you shared some data points there, but can you just quickly summarize just the cost of the program or any other specifics around enrolling in that program?
Yeah, so Vine is great. Last I checked, it's $200 per listing. So it's $200 for the listing. You have to give away the product. So the product it has to be an FBA. So essentially you ship in the product, it's in FBA. Amazon pulls it from your FBA inventory and sends it to Vine reviewers. I know some people on the Vine review program. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but it's $200 up front. You got to give away those 30 products. That's $200 times 30 times your COGS. That's your Vine cost. And then what happens is on the Vine reviewer side, they get to access this like really outdated website that just scrolls, that just has a list of new products, and they can just click claim. And they still have to pay a little bit for the product. So there is a little bit like you do want at least an appealing product. You couldn't just throw junk into Vine. Nobody would claim it. They do have to pay a small amount for it. I don't think many people know that. So
yeah,
but you're going to be launching a great product anyways. So with the length of time it takes to get reviews, I would say it's usually between 2 and 3 weeks, we really start seeing them pour in. It gives time for it to get to the person. Let's say, even if they have Prime next day, they still want to use it for a week before writing a review. So that is, Vine timing. 70% of your products, you'll get about 70% of those 30 will leave a review, 21 or plus, almost always 4 stars or higher. It's a great program.
Got it. The just by the way, for the audience, if any of you have further questions, feel free to email Josh or myself. Ryan just shared our email IDs. Let's see, any more questions?
Open the floor to feedback and discussion.
There's another question here. So Vine review is good, but I observed that reviews come in too slow. Is there a reason for this?
Yeah, so we've seen that in the case where perhaps it's a product that takes a while to utilize. Man, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head right now. But if you're selling a product that let's say it's a grill, right? And somebody buys the grill, but they don't use it for 3 weeks. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the product. So we've seen that where the nature of the product lends itself to being a longer term use cycle. Yeah, that just kind of is what it is. And that's why I like doing the email campaigns. Because with the email campaigns, you can go pepper your customer and say, hey, did you use my grill yet? Do you use my grill yet? I mean, you don't want to you don't want to piss them off, but you have a little bit more control about advancing those reviews forward than you do with Vine, where you just got to sit there and, patiently wait.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is great. I think Josh will wrap it up here. Once again, thank you for joining. Thank you for all the in-depth content. And for those of you who joined us, we'll be sending out the recording after. And again, feel free to follow us or get in touch with us if you have any further questions. Again, thank you, Josh. Thanks for setting this up and walking us through some fairly detailed info on product launches.
Yeah, happy to help. If anybody has any questions, email me, Josh at goespark.com, GOespark.com. Or ping me on LinkedIn. I love talking Amazon and doing this kind of stuff. It's a blast for me. So you're not bothering me. Ask me questions. I love to talk. If you guys couldn't tell, 45 minutes, man. I was just like, here's everything I know. That was fun. Thanks to everybody for joining. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Josh.
See you guys.